Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's late. Why is it late? Why is this news late? Why is this news later than other news? The answer is very simple. I was too busy to report it as it came. So we're going to do a bit of a roundup. One, raid testing has started. Raid testing, these bosses went really good. They are really good design bosses. We did have a delay. There was supposed to be some raid testing this Friday. There was not raid testing this Friday, so LFR is not available over the weekend. It looks like shit is going down and shit is going very bad in terms of that raid testing, because it looks like all raid testing for every Friday has to be redone. They are doing to be discussed for the bosses that are supposed to be raid tested in the future. In fact, I might be able to bring it up. Yeah, okay, we'll go with the raid testing schedule here. Of course, everything's a little off center, so as you can see, normal, we didn't get to test out any normal. There was no normal over the weekend. We did, however, get all of the regular heroic bosses tested. So we did get 5 heroic bosses tested. Now there's going to be discussed, because they haven't tested normal and they haven't tested Raid Finder. They're just rescheduling it. I'm guessing they're going to give us an entire week instead of just the weekend. And then we're talking about to be discussed for the other bosses as well, because something happened that just completely messed us over. But as you can see here from Linksy, greetings Raiders, the team has been working diligently on the full Vault of the Incarnates raid experience, but unfortunately it won't be ready in time for the currently scheduled normal and Raid Finder weekend playtest. We'll be postponing normal and Raid Finder tests at this time. Please keep an eye out on this thread for further updates and when they have been rescheduled. We hope that you are enjoying the full Vault of the Incarnate raid experience so far, and we look forward to seeing you on the beta for the second raid test. Of course, that was when there was a second raid test. Here we've got all the tier sets. I will happily go over them at a later date. Here we've got the announcement, including the release date. When is the release date? Oh yeah, it's November 28th, like the leak said. So October 22nd is going to be that pre-patch, which means, folks, we have to get you your KSMs, your Faded Heroes, stuff like that. The Winds of Wisdom experience buff returns Tuesday. What does that mean? That means that I will finally be able to level my Priest. Here's the Season 1 raid schedule. They are doing it pretty well. Normal, Heroic, and Mythic all come out on Week 1. We're going to discuss that more in-depth later. They still delayed Raid Finder Week 1, which I think this is all just part of the experiment, which is fine. I mean, one of the main things for Raid Finder is you want people to know the fight. So if you release Raid Finder Wing 1 on Week 2, that means that people already know the fights. They'll be able to go in. They'll be able to help the people that don't know the fights. That's how it's always been, really. I mean, you had people wiping on Skullix and Raid Finder and Guardian and Raid Finder because they just don't know it. We will have cross-faction Mythic Vault and Hall of Fame entries, of course. We have the new dungeon rotation, which will include Ruby Life Pools. Very fast, very fast dungeon. Not good offensive, not as fast, but more fun because you get dragon flying, so you're going to want to max dragon flying for that. The Azure Vault, it has heartbreaking voice acting on that last boss. And Algathar Academy, it's not my favorite. Then you have Halls of Valor from Legion, which I think is a great dungeon. It's got a lot of trash, though. The Court of Stars from Legion, which is not personally my favorite, but it will be interesting to see how people are going to end up doing that. Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, again, not one of my favorites, but interesting to see nonetheless. And Temple of the Jade Serpent, actually one of my favorites. Really, really fun. They are removing Necrotic and Inspiring, which is fine. Necrotic isn't very good, and especially early on, it's kind of a bitch and a half for tanks. Inspiring just makes stuff more annoying. else was there? Oh, they're also changing the way that loot is going to work. So personal loot is absolutely dead. There's going to be stuff about item level tiering. I would go over this right now. The problem is I don't really want to. I kind of want to make a video talking about all the raid changes at once so we can go more in depth, and probably going to end up doing that when I've had more than 3 hours of sleep, because I am a busy bee. I need to get a lot of stuff done today, not just in game but also out of game. I am trying my damnedest to get the Veil Strider achievement. I do have to do Torghast, which is gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time doing Torghast. It's not gonna be fun. It's not. It's gonna hurt my soul. But I am just ready for all the other fun stuff. We are going to get this done. We are going to see all of you guys with your wonderful KSMs. Oh, sorry. There's something on my screen. Must be on my camera, actually. So we're going to see all of you guys with your wonderful KSMs. My group's going to be getting rid of some free Jailer kills and some free Sylvanas kills. Get those non-faded kills, those non-faded carries out of the way, making sure that they are easy enough to get, that we can get all those people that wonderful Carsonized Zenith Steed, even if it is not from Faded, which, again, it's not something that really needs to be from Faded. So we're going to rock that out. And we are going to also discuss the tier sets. And, I mean, that's going to come during rating, because I have a few comments on that. And then we're going to go over which is going to be my main alt. That's right, my main will be the Monk. But the main alt, the first thing that I level, is a little up for contention. Mainly because some of the classes are really fun. They are. And leveling in Dragonflight is so much easier. It's so much easier. I'm like buried in the dragon riding, right? I do all of the dragon races. So being able to get dragon riding up, being able to find all those runes, that's going to be really useful. That's going to kind of help me out there. And then what I'm going to do after that is we're going to move on down, and we are going to be on that alt. We're going to have a full 6 vigor. We are going to be rocking everything, and we're also going to talk, at the same time we're talking about my alt, we're going to talk about leveling in Dragonflight, because some things have changed in Dragonflight, and some things are a little weird in Dragonflight, like the level banding for the campaign. It's really weird. It's super weird. Specifically, and this is just a little preview, you have to be level 66 by the time you exit the 3rd zone. The thing with that is I was level 64 before I left the 1st zone. I'm fairly certain I'm like 2 bars from 66, and I've done the intro quest for the 3rd zone. Yeah, and also it's really fast to level, like insanely fast. If you are geared like me, if you are leveling your geared character, yeah, leveling's going to be really easy. Also, I suggest that you start emptying out your bags. You can get a lot of gold. A lot of gold. So I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a wonderful time. We'll cover everything that's coming in Dragonflight, and I will even make a non-content survival guide for you that's not just, hey guys, you need to get all the gear from the race, so you need to raid, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. I'm Bellular, I'm super smart. So we'll get through that. We'll get through that together, guys. We're friends. We'll rock it through together. I'm going from casual start to kind of needing to raid week 1, so I'll talk to you guys later.